now. Hey, what's up out there? It's David Duford at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you become top producing insurance professionals. Today, I'm doing another agent interview. Today, I'm joined with Vicki. How you doing today, Vicki?
I'm great, David.
Hey, thanks for coming on today. So in this series of videos, what I do, if you haven't seen one before, is just basically answer any and all questions related to selling and marketing insurance. And with that said, I'm going to let Vicki jump in, ask her questions, and see what I can do to help.
Okay, well, I actually have a series of questions. I'm an ex-teacher with some sales experience. I took an early retirement from teaching, and I've been inundated recently with offers from insurance companies to sell insurance. And I finally broke down about 6 or 7 months ago and said, okay, what the heck? I got my license and so on. And for the last 6 or 8 months, I'm totally confused. I've talked to so many people. I've actually even applied with some of them. Things have happened, whether it be my own self-sabotage kind of a thing, or them dropping the ball. Suffice it to say that I'm still confused. I don't know what to do, where to turn. But I kind of don't want to waste the money I spent on getting my life health license, and I'm licensed in 3 states and so on. So I really don't know what to do, how to go about it. Never really thought I'd wanted to sell insurance, but what's the best way for me to go about this the most lucratively, with the least amount of, anxiety?
Yeah. So I think part of this is figuring out what it is that you want to accomplish. I think a lot of agents are in your situation. They get into this business. They get a license and they think, I got the license. And then what's next? Well, there's going to be everybody and their mother is going to beat your door down and say that their product is the best in the world. You should sell it and blah, 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 blah. So
exactly what they do say.
Yeah. So I think the best thing you can do is start from square one, which is determine, and I can help you do this, of course, why you want to sell insurance. And the next step would be what product or marketplace interests you more, captures your attention. I believe in playing to the bias. I think the most lucrative business to be in insurance is the one that you enjoy the most, because otherwise, if you hate what you do, you're never going to be successful. And there are products that you will like and others you don't. And then from there, I can kind of give you some suggestions on which direction to go, and conclude with telling you got to go all in. Once you've made your decision that this product, this market's great, you got to jump in with both feet. So why are you, let's start from the first point. Why insurance? Why do you think you want to sell insurance? What attracts you to this?
Okay, well, to be quite honest, I never did want to, and I'm still not sure whether I do or not. I also know that it's a legitimate way to make money. Like I said, I was inundated with offers. They go after, I guess, people that have sales experience and people that have been teachers and so on.
Yeah, sure.
So like I said, I broke down. I mean, well, to tell you the truth, I want a Porsche Macan with spider rims. And that is basically the motivation. Basically, I'd like to win the lottery.
Yeah, right. Sure.
But anyway, so I don't really know. I don't really necessarily want to sell insurance, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't, should I find my right niche, like the hell out of it. I might like the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So that's the honest answer to the question, why do I want to sell it? I don't really know that I do, but I'm open to liking it.
Good.
And then as far as what, you actually helped me decide what, because I know that you and a gentleman named Doug Massey, have you heard of that gentleman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think both of you are saying the same things as far as, for instance, selling final expense is a lot easier than trying to sell mortgage insurance for various reasons.
Sure.
And then I started looking at your videos, and I watched the video on the seminar thing. Well, because I have public speaking experience and comfortable with that, I thought, okay, well, I can go into homes and give a little presentation. I don't mind doing that. Maybe that way of doing it is good. I also, on the other hand, thinking logically, if I'm going to go out there and do something, rather than stay home and watch Murdoch Mysteries, I might as well do the most lucrative thing, which is probably life insurance.
Sure.
Annuities or whatever. So I'm torn between, okay, I'm probably pretty good going into the old fart home and, and selling the stuff,
Right.
On the other hand, I want to make as much money. I want as much bang for my buck as possible. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Right.
If that
Right.
makes
Okay.
sense.
Sure. Sure. So I think back to your first point, I think one of the nice things about insurance sales is that it's totally different. The perception of what it is different from the reality. I think, in fact, the best salespeople selling insurance have an educational or coaching background, like yourself. So, for example, I came into this business as a fitness coach, right? I dealt with people, I advised them, I made recommendations, I looked out in their best interest. And it's really those agents who come in with an advisory assistant buyer type of approach that I think do really well in this business because they look out for the welfare of their client. They want to help them get the best deal. And their sales approach is not so heavily on the cornball, old-fashioned sales techniques.
Absolutely.
And so I think if you look at it like that, and you will see after you get into the business that most of what selling is called in this business is really just showing your clients and educating them on what's really out there, what the fine print says. You win hearts and minds over people way better and way more often than if you just pushed a product and felt.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have that likability factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all comes down to if you are truly concerned about helping these people, it will take care of itself. As long with you got some, work ethic too, of course.
Right. I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And then final expense. So final expense, of course, I've always sold final expense. I recruit predominantly final expense agents. The nice thing about final expense is that our marketplace just doesn't understand final expense. They don't understand what they're buying. They've seen so many ads and they're confused. And a person who comes in that focuses on education, helping the prospect out, and wants to put them in a good position, there's a great opportunity. That's how I teach agents to sell, of course. And there's a lot of people that fit the bill. I was going to ask you, what part of the country do you live in, Vicki?
I'm in the Southern California area.
Pick the phone up a little bit. I can't hear you. It's kind of muffled.
I'm in the Southern California. I'm in the loony bin. Southern California. The loony bin. Okay. The leftist loony bin.
So like LA, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm in a nice little enclave called Toluca Lake. It's near Burbank, Studio City, Universal City.
Okay, yeah. So you've got plenty of people that would fit the bill and target. Yeah. It's
absolutely
to find prospects. That's another reason that final expense is good. Again, when I teach agents about the insurance business, I can't stress enough that it's important to pick a product that actually has a market. All right. Like it sounds really good to sell a high-end product, but the problem is that what and where do you find the marketplace? Okay. And how long does it take to convince them to buy from you? That's the other thing. You can, the more lucrative, the larger the sales, typically the longer the sales cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
So with final expense, it's a great gateway drug to the insurance business because there is an inexhaustible supply of prospects. And then as well, it's mostly daytime work and it's activity driven. It's you go out, you see the people, and they're either going to buy because they like and trust you and the product looks good, or they're not because of something you couldn't overcome or could possibly never overcome. And it's predominantly an activity driven business. So you don't have to have this technical know-how beyond the basics of understanding the sales process, the basics of the product itself. You can just get out there and work, and your work and your income is directly correlated to the level of work that you put into it. So, I like final expense. There's definitely more lucrative sales opportunities in insurance. I think you could argue that selling business owners would be more profitable long-term. Also selling annuities with enough activity, same there, and with the right type of marketing. So again, you're not going to get everything you want out of a lead system or a sales system. There's always pros and cons.
That's true. You mean there's no perfect situation, David?
There's not.
What are you telling me?
Yeah, I know. In my youth,
what?
yeah, in my youth, I thought I could develop a way to overcome dealing with people who just would waste your time in a sales call, and it's next to impossible. When you run a final expense sales and marketing model where you run appointments, you door knock, that kind of thing, 3 out of 4 of your leads are going to tell you to go to hell. They're not going to buy from you. But if you got that many who's telling you no, and the rest are telling you yes, just 25% of the leads, you're killing it. You're making a good living.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously it's a numbers game. There's no doubt about it. Yes. It's a numbers game. And like I said, I like the idea of, if I'm going to spin some wheels, I'd rather make the most amount of money possible spinning those wheels. But on the other hand, like you say, and I've been convinced after hearing you and a few others say that final expense is pretty easy way to go. I'm open to that as well. And I figured that's probably what the answer would be, that the final expense thing, even though you don't make quite as much money, it's probably a little bit easier going.
Yeah. I hesitate to use the E word. It's about as bad as the F word. I would prefer to say it's simpler. I think simple, it kind of, contextually is correct. It's not a complicated product. And that's what attracted me to final expense. When I did and first started in 2011, I thought, hey, this isn't a complicated product. It's just really talk to a lot of leads that you get, and the guy who does more is going to sell more. And that's generally the case.
Yeah, the numbers game. Well, another thing that I've always thought about final expense is that there's literally no way you're going to cheat death.
Right.
You're going to die. You're going to die. So you can either leave the responsibility to your loved ones, or you can take care of it ahead of time. It's literally you're going to die. So there's not that hurdle to overcome with final expense. You either take care of it now, or throw it on your unfortunate loved ones. Let them bury you.
That's right. And what to couple that, a lot of agents ask me, okay, describe as simple as possible what final expense is. And truth be told, final expense is sold to poor or low income individuals. Why? Because they've hit retirement. They have no pension. They have no savings. Maybe they did, but circumstances happened in their life where they lost money. Maybe they went on disability because of some unexpected illness or something happened. And if they don't have insurance, it's on a family member. And
absolutely.
They know they're going to die, and they've got to do something. The ones that love their family will want and need to do something. And the thing is, and this is what's great about this market, there's way more people in a low income circumstance by an exponential amount than there are middle income or even higher income.
Yeah, and those rich folks, they simply don't need a final expense product.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So we're serving a great need, and there's a plenty of people out there. And that's the thing too. What's great about this product as well. I made this comment on the last video, and it was profound to me, I think, at the time, because I got mad because I couldn't close 1 out of 3 of my leads. That's a really good ratio. If you're doing that, guys out there, you're doing great.
Yeah.
I was closing 20, 25%. I thought, how can I get better? I just seemed to not be able to. And it frustrated me. Why couldn't I be like the great agents and have a higher closing ratio? Then it dawned on me. It's that final expense. We're not going in to convince Mrs. Jones at 70 years old that, hey, have you ever heard of this great thing? It's awesome. It's like you die and you get paid money. Well, you can't take it with you. Just leave it to somebody you love. It's called life insurance.
Can't
never
take
heard
it
of
with
life insurance? Yeah. And it's great. You just give me money and then I'll pay when you die. The thing is we're not selling them on life insurance. Okay. What we're selling our prospects on, because they already understand the basics of life insurance. It's money to pay for something. Okay. That they understand that. What we're selling them on and the buyers, I should say, is why they should do business with us instead of our competition.
Yeah, that's a very good question. There's tons of them out there.
Yeah. And so the thing is that the vast majority of people we're going to sit down with get it. They understand what life insurance is. They don't know the difference between term life and whole life, but that's why we're there to educate them on the difference. And if they don't buy, the reasons people don't buy final expense is because, one, they're not convinced. But a lot of the times, especially with how I teach agents to do it, they're not convinced because they're withholding information to you. They're not telling you the full scoop of things.
Yeah.
Or they just don't love their family. And there are people out there that could care less what happens to them, and they don't care.
Well, why would they even let you come into their home then if they, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a great question. And I don't know. They may have thought it was something different. And when they found out they had to pay money, or when they found out what the price was, or maybe they just said, I'll wait, I'll hesitate even longer than I have. And I wasn't able to overcome that for whatever reason. I just know that some people are just in denial right up to the end. And you can't help everybody. But
that's true.
Yeah, but what a good sales presentation will do is find those people who love their family, who have a story, because most of these people who buy do, meaning their spouse died, they saw the price, they had insurance or they didn't have insurance, and they don't want to repeat a worst case scenario with their kids or their other extended family members. And they are already sold on the concept. And most people we talk to are. It's just a function of how can I get the best deal. So I say all this because it's easier to make a sale based off of, the presumed understanding that most of these prospects will have that they need life insurance and they get it. Yes, I agree, blah, blah, blah. And because the product options out there are poor as far as what our competition does. You have AARP, which terminates at 80, has price increases on the aughts or every 0 and 5 years, so 60, 65, 70. Tremendous price increases. Seniors on a fixed income do not like that. You got Colonial Penn, which makes you wait 2 full years before you're fully covered. And we show them, like I teach agents, just show them the letters they send all the time, and you'll make a believer out of them.
Show the letters of testimonial?
No. So get this. I don't use any props in my sales presentation except the junk mail that our clients receive. So when I talk about...
you're talking about the lies that people receive in the mail regarding final expense. Yeah.
So I'll pull out. So here's a technique I think all agents should do. Get on the mailing list for all of at least AARP and Globe and Colonial Penn, and get their mailers as they send them to you. Because what you can do is you can guarantee your prospects all see the same junk mail or have at one point in their life. And all you need to do is just carry that material with you, highlight the fine print, and say, you probably heard of AARP, right? Oh, yeah. How haven't I? They do term insurance, right? Well, let me show you what term insurance is. You see right here on the paper where it says level premiums increasing every 5 years and cancels at age 80. That means you don't have any coverage when you hit 80. So the point of me mentioning this is there's nothing more powerful in selling to the prospect than showing what our other competition does.
Rather than actually saying it, you actually show them their own literature that shows that. Let me ask you, what is the difference between buying a burial plot, or what am I trying to say? Where you actually, it's prepaid a funeral as opposed to final expense. What's the do you sell both? Is that what you do with the final expense?
It's a good question. 2 different markets entirely. So pre-deed is the product sold by funeral homes. In a nutshell, it's an insurance product. It's typically a one-time payment or multi-year payment, 3, 5, 7, 10 years. And the benefit that it provides the client is that it locks in most of the components of the funeral. one of the biggest selling points of these plans is to show rates of inflation for not just cremation, but also burial. What were burial rates? You know, I think the casket price as well as the total funeral price is twice the rate of normal inflation. And so this is a big selling angle you use in order to win that business. The problem and the biggest difference between this and final expense is that that market that pre-arranges and gets a pre-need insurance plan is typically middle class and above. You're looking at premiums in your 60s for some of these things for a 7 or 10 year period of probably $150 to $200 a month for that.
So they're expensive.
And so what I tell agents is that what you can expect is that your middle class clientele more commonly are attracted to pre-need, whereas your lower income, when you explain this to them, that you're looking at premiums this much, they'll just say, "Oh, I can't afford that. You know, that's well out of my budget." So it's a good product. It just doesn't make sense for the kind of marketplace we're dealing with.
So it's just basically the prepaid is just too expensive for the
Yes.
final expense
Yes.
market. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Now, so basically, you do just the final expense. You don't sell the prepaid things.
No, most states require an affiliation with the funeral home to sell pre-need. Some states don't, like Kentucky doesn't, I believe, or Indiana. It's one or the other. But yeah, it's just a different market and different set of values, different circumstances, and you very rarely run across a pre-need opportunity when you work final expense leads. It's been my
okay. Well, I was gonna ask that next. I mean, how often do you have to, you know? Okay, that answers that. So that's not gonna. Oh, how about as a pre-screen or a screening question? Do you love your family? I mean, I'm harkening back to what you said earlier about, you know, some of these people, they just don't give a damn about their families. And I'm being a little bit, you know, facetious, but you know, you kind of might want to find out how much they don't want to put their family in some financial straits. I mean,
a good tactic and a sales presentation to use is you can get that response without asking. Many times just asking, you know, what were your thoughts and concerns when you sent back this card? They will go into a personal story about why they did what they did, how their spouse died, and they don't want their kids. And we can presume if they want to pay for something they'll never see the benefit of, that they love their children. Now, what'll happen is if you get to the close and you follow the system I teach, like pre-qualifying on budget, and they say that's too expensive, then you can come back at them saying, "Hey, look, you told me that this is important. You told me that your spouse dying was a financial disaster for you. And you told me that you want your kids to be relieved from this expense and that this is in your budget. What's changed?"
Exactly.
You know, and you can hold their feet to the fire. And you know, and this is what I call building tension versus applying pressure. Okay, applying pressure is making them guilty in the sense of, you know, you're an idiot. You know, you need to do this. Just sign here. Here we're reminding them of things that we said earlier in a loving and empathetic way. Okay.
Yeah, they actually said it themselves.
Yeah, and you can say that, "Hey, I'm not trying to be high pressure here, but you said this yourself, and I only feel it's my obligation as your advisor on this to tell you what you said and remind you of just how important that is."
Now, I'm assuming that you probably have in your training materials all of those common objections and proper rebuttals and so on. You've got everything all scripted out, because I'm a firm believer in having a great presentation script.
Right. Correct.
So you have it all in writing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. Scripts, pre-qualification scripts, appointment setting scripts, door knocking scripts. You know, everybody learns slightly different, as you know, as a teacher. Some
absolutely
written based, word based, some are audio based, visually based. So in my training, I try to provide different ways to say the same thing, but in different different mediums, so that you can maximize your learning to the highest extent possible.
Yeah, I am attracted to the seminar program. You know,
Okay.
I watched the video on that before. Now, could we? Since you're recording this, can we talk at some point in the near future without being recorded?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, because there's a couple of things I'd like to discuss with you that I really rather would not.
Yeah,
I don't think.
absolutely.
Now, is this being recorded to play later or?
Oh yeah. So this will go up on YouTube. I don't know. It's March 13th today. Probably.
I don't know if I gave you permission to record this. So no, it's okay. That's fine. I thought, what do you mean I can't cuss now? What I got? He's recording this. I can't use any curse words. I'm kidding. I'm being silly. But yeah, I'm attracted to that the seminar situation, and I live in an area where there's 4 or 5 zip codes that are within 20 minutes of me. So it's not like, of course, until I get that Porsche Macan with the spider rims, I want to stay as close to home as possible.
Right.
You know?
Priorities.
But anyway, there's a lot. So I would like to speak with you, privately regarding that particular program and so on. Because I know that I spoke with another company recently, and they offer, a seminar program. But he was saying that the presentation itself is not all that much different than the presentation that you would give in, say, home with somebody. Is that true of yours as well?
It's what I do in my presentation is, again, I'm very, perfect is the enemy of good. So perfect is the enemy of done. And so my presentation, I don't use a PowerPoint. I don't even give out handouts or anything like that.
Really?
And all I talk about, it's a 10 to 15 minute brief talk. And all I talk about is essentially 4 situations that a client is in when it comes to life insurance. And it resembles very closely to the educational portion of the presentation one-on-one. But what I'm doing in the sales presentation, meaning the seminar, is I'm highlighting the 4 common situations as a salesperson that I see to try to plant seeds to get people perked up and interested in what it is that I'm doing, so that they can see that I should probably talk to Dave. He's mentioning this term thing. So
that's when you go for the appointment then?
So I'm trying to basically cast out different fishing poles, different bait, to reel in some prospects and who have problems with term or an expensive company or 2-year waiting period. I want to see them today, and I want to kind of, again, entice them that a conversation with me, subtly but not overdone, is going to be useful to do a policy review, to see if there's something better that's out there. Or for those people who have just been thinking about it and just want to get it done, they can come up to me right afterwards and I can start selling.
So you got to be prepared to. Now, how long is the individual presentation?
So on a seminar basis, probably 20 to 30 minutes. Because here's a great thing about seminars. Seminars, first of all, if you think of a sales presentation, you have to build rapport and trust. You've got to pre-qualify. You have to show what yours does and why it's better. And then you've got to ask for the business. With a seminar approach, you already overcome the rapport part of the sales process. Why? Because you're assumed to be the authority because you're speaking to them. And they probably already have begun to like you, especially if they've started to approach you.
Of course.
You have that presumed advantage from the get-go. That's extremely powerful. And then what it becomes, because of that, are these very highly qualified leads. And the conversation is essentially, hey, I like what you said. Can you help me? In other words, I want to buy. Help me find something that makes sense. That's the best lead you can ever run. Besides, it's almost like a referral. So that's why I like seminars. And to do that, it's you're going to maybe shell out $20 or $30 total between getting some stuff to kind of
bring it in the Stella Artois, right? No, I'm kidding on the Stella.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like you bringing in donuts and stuff.
Yeah, just donuts. Give a gift card away to get people to show up. That's the extent of it. But yeah, the outcome is that even with 2 sales, let's say you make $800 to $1,000 in first year commissions, it only costs you your time and $30 investment. that return on investment is tremendous.
Now, how much? What is my commission on the average final expense sale?
Your take-home pay is going to be somewhere between $550 and $650. It just depends on if you write a guaranteed issue, a level product, preferred. That kind of
somewhere around between $500 and $600.
Yeah.
You know, and it would be quite a respectable amount of money if you did a couple of those a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even if you only did a couple of those a week, that's a respectable amount. I mean, it's not enough for my Macan yet, but
right. You could lease it.
I want to buy that damn thing. I want it. I want to buy it. Although you're right, I could lease it. I could lease it, and then later on, I suppose I could convert it to it. Anyway, I test drove one the other day. Oh my God in heaven! I'm in love, absolutely in love. Anyway, all right. So that's now. I would imagine that you could probably. Hopefully, make an appointment for a speech, you know, a presentation every single day. Is that what you're looking for?
So with a seminar marketing model, you have a couple of things going on. So number one, you've got a little bit of reverb, by the way. I don't know what that's me or you. Okay.
You sound okay to me.
I'll deal with it. Okay. So number one with the seminar marketing model, you've always got to be filling the pipeline to find more seminars, right?
Right.
So they're not. So you got to spend time like a day a week or in the mornings before your actual seminars to find more.
Right.
Number two, you got to pitch the seminars, which, you know, to me, full time is probably 3 seminars a week. You can write a lot of business off of 3 seminars or 12 a month very consistently. And then number 3 is you've got to run the appointments, which in this business, most of the business is written the same day you do the seminars. You're going to do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're going to do some callbacks because maybe some of your prospects had to go to a doctor's appointment after speaking with you. They just wanted to meet you and see if it was worth pursuing. But yeah, so it's a 4 or 5 day work week. I would say, several mornings and a full day, you're going to go out and talk to activity directors at these places. You're going to book appointments for the next month for seminars. And then Tuesday through Thursday, you're going to be actually running the seminars probably around lunchtime and then writing up whatever business comes in immediately afterwards. And then maybe do some callbacks in the evening if you stay late or in the morning, and then go back on Friday to clean up and send applications in. It's kind of the typical.
Are you saying that you need to, in order to book the seminar, can that be done via the phone, or do you have to do that in person?
Yes, it can. I have known several agents that have never set foot in a seminar or a living facility, and they just called over the phone to book. I think that I generally teach agents to show up, speak with the seminar person, especially in the beginning. But I've done personally myself, and I've had other agents too. They'll just phone it in and they'll let it go. So, I mean, they'll let it happen. So, yeah, if you want to work the phone, call up the activity directors. Because
I'm thinking that, I wouldn't imagine that this would be a hard sale to the activity managers because, they're looking for, they know that their people need services. So I would think this would be a hard sale.
You are doing their job when you show up to book an appointment.
Absolutely.
I would say 7 out of 10 facilities will book an appointment with you.
Exactly. It wouldn't be that difficult.
And if they don't, it's because they've got limitations from a higher authority that says you can't have for-profit people coming in to speak. And there's no way to get around those. So they literally at a very high
I'm sure that in your seminar program, obviously you do, you have a list of the various kinds of senior citizen homes. Is there more than one type? Are there several types?
We show you how to find the list and then what to say, how to prospect them, get in front of them. Yeah, the whole thing. So you need to build out that list because that's your market, right? And
Now, I remember recalling that there was a price on the seminar program. If one signs up with you, is it still is that price the same, or is that free? If
let me explain that. It's worth explaining. So, I charge agents that want to work with me, or if they want to buy it as a standalone product, at this time, $299. And the reason I ask my agents to do it is because I wholly believe that to be successful in this business, you've got to have skin in the game. I used to teach agents the program for free, and I didn't get a lot of results. But now, if I have an agent who puts a little bit of money into a system, I know that they're going to want to get that back. And that's what I offer. So all I request from an agent that wants to do seminars is to write 5 pieces of business. I don't care if they're $5, $10 deals. I just want to see that you get the system and then put it into work. And once you do, you just let me know. I'll refund you the balance. But yeah, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get your money back, right? I mean, that's the cost, right? So, but I think more often than not, having that risk, if you will, incentivizes people.
Now that makes sense. And then I'm assuming then that comes with your mentorship and so on.
Absolutely. Yeah. You work with me directly. You can call me if you need my help on casework, case design, sales questions. I even have, agents record their sales calls. I analyze them for you to give you some advice on what you can do to improve. Again, I'm a small agency, so that means I try harder. I'm more directly involved with my agents. You're not going to get some marketer or some other guy to talk to. It's directly to me.
So you don't have so many, is it mentees? People that you mentor, you don't have so many that you can't devote enough time to say, okay, you've got plenty of time to devote to all your people that you're mentoring.
I tell my agents I operate an inbound-based business, so what I'm not going to do is call you multiple times a week or much at all to be like, okay, what's going on? How can I help you? Or what are you doing lately? I have always run my business with the capacity of, if you need help, you need to call me. I want to help.
Okay, that sounds great, because that's my question. Are you going to be available when I call you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much available 9 to 5 Eastern time. There may be a little time difference. By text and phone. I usually get back same day. Worst case, if you're running a late appointment and you don't know what to do, you can call risk assessment at these underwriting companies. They're helpful sometimes. Or you can just wait till early tomorrow, the next day, and I'll be more than happy to help you out.
How many carriers do you need to be appointed with?
I think 3 is a good number to start with, because it's not overkill. You don't want to try to get every single company, because at some point it's just paralysis by analysis. You need to get really good with the core 2 or 3 carriers. And then what you'll find is organically, you'll find opportunities to write business, but those 3 won't work. So you just pick up another carrier, that would do the job. And you grow out your carrier selection over time. I just find that, go ahead.
Well, I should say, do I apply for those through you?
Yeah. So you would contract. I'd give you directions, the contract, and very straightforward, right?
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions. I mean, I can't think of any. Let's see. Isn't there more? Yeah. Okay. No, I think that you basically answered all the questions that I had.
Okay.
And I think that I've come to the conclusion that, which I kind of had come to the conclusion of before, and that is that final expense is probably the way to go.
Right.
And then as far as the seminar program, I'm assuming that comes with flip charts and everything that you need for the one-on-one presentations and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So part of my program is you learn the seminar marketing. That you understand that investment, but the actual training, the mentorship, the sales training, the sales presentation, that's all the same. So you'll get access to all the training there. Again, I have very little prop usage. Really, this business is all about knowing what questions to ask and being sincerely curious about how you can help these people. And I do my best. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So you don't really need, like a flip chart, or because sometimes those nice color graphics, people follow along with it. You don't really need a presentation book or anything like that. Okay.
Some of the best insurance agents I know, all they do is carry a yellow legal pad and a pen, and they draw a bunch of circles and triangles and write numbers in them, and they write big deals. Like, you don't need that stuff. It's just it's a crutch. Okay. And if you focus your efforts on what can I do to help you, and you really listen intently to their answers, and you maybe probe a little deeper, and you find the source of their pain, and then go through and educate them and anything using the material from your competitors, that'll blow their minds. And they'll be more than happy to hand their money over to get insurance with you after you prove that yours is better than the rest.
That makes a lot of sense. And you have copies of these mailing pieces that someone could start with?
When you say, yeah, they're downloadable from the website. You can just click, print, you got it.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. And then also, I see behind you every time I watch one of your videos, I'd be selling final expense insurance. Probably. Now, does that come with the program for $299?
There you go.
If it doesn't, it's good.
Got a negotiator. I'll send you the ebook version. Yeah, for free.
I hate reading on the computer.
You're like me.
I hate reading on the computer.
You got Picard syndrome. Do you know what Picard syndrome is?
No.
You ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah, Jean-Luc Picard.
Picard.
Yeah.
He hates reading from iPads or whatever they've got. He's got to read.
I can't stand it either. I want a book. I want a book in my hand. Yeah, and I want to smell it too.
I'm like that too. Because this is like my whole rack of books here. So it's all, I'm a dork like that. I hate ebooks. I sell them because people buy them, but personally, I don't.
I know. I have a bunch of stuff on my desktop, but they sit there because I can't stand to read on the computer. I can't stand it. Well, anyway. Well, that's all. I don't have any more questions. I would like to speak with you privately, though, sometime soon. So
I'll send you. Once I check my email, I got a note I wrote up on my screen. I'm gonna send you a link to set up a time with me, perhaps for next week at this point, and then we can go into private conversation about what you want to talk about, and we can kind of discuss some specifics about moving.
Finalize some things, and it'll give me some time to think about it, because at this stage of my life, I really want to just move up to Monterey. I want to own a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and go live up in Monterey. Right. I don't want to sell anything, but I realize that I probably am going to have to sell something. Anyway, I do like what you've told me so far. This has helped me to get further along in the process of deciding what exactly to do. So then so I've got some time to think about actually, committing to doing it.
Good. Yeah.
So I'll respond to your email then, and we can set up a time. And today's what, Tuesday or Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Yes,
Wednesday.
So you wouldn't be available for. See, you are busy. No, that's not. I'm kidding.
I might have some time to. I don't know. My link is all. It's all fine. Automatic in the background, and No,
it's fine. No, next week is fine. If you have time before that, that's okay too. But it'll give me time to think about it, because I don't want to purchase that manual, the seminar program, and then just get lazy on it or whatever.
Do it if you're only buy it if you're going to do it. That's the way I like it.
I'm only going to buy it if I'm going to do it. And anyway, I do appreciate. Make a lot of sense. I've got a lot of sales background. I mean, I've got a long teaching background, and as you can tell, I'm no spring chicken. I've got a long background in teaching and a background in sales, and I know what makes sense and what doesn't. And I like the things that you've said, even on your YouTube videos and in person here. You make a lot of sense, and it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Wonderful.
So anyway.
Well, thank you for the time. I'm going to do a little outro here, guys. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, and share it with your agent friends. I really enjoyed doing these agent talks. I know you guys do too, because you get to hear people like yourself who have questions, want to know how things work, and that's what I try to do. If you're interested in doing something like this, make sure that you subscribe. Like I said, I do these on occasion. I'll probably have another series like this starting soon. So if you have any kind of sales or marketing insurance related questions, look out for that, and then just go ahead and post your question in there, and then I'll reach out to you and we can set up a time like this. So my name is David Duford at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you become top producing personal professionals. Something like that.
Producing personal professionals.
Something, yeah. I just help you sell more. There you go. Vicki, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow or maybe next week. We'll see.
All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.